Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch. Light will flood the room and you won't think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. Truly dark. And the real answer to what your ancestors did in that darkness is far stranger than you think. You probably imagine them huddled in silence, waiting for morning. Afraid? Helpless. But that's not what the evidence shows. Night was not empty time. It was a second life. Anthropologist Carol Worthman spent years studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, including the Hadza of Tanzania, to understand what sleep and night looked like before electricity. What she found upended a lot of assumptions. Sleep wasn't one long, uninterrupted block like yours is supposed to be. It was fragmented. People drifted in and out of rest throughout the night. They woke in the middle of it. And that waking wasn't a problem to be fixed. It was useful. Historian A. Roger Ekirch uncovered something remarkable buried in old court records, diaries, and medical texts from pre-industrial Europe. People used to sleep in two distinct segments: a first sleep, then an hour or two of quiet wakefulness in the middle of the night, then a second sleep. That middle hour had a name: the watch. During the watch, people didn't just lie there. They talked. They processed dreams. They had sex. They tended to fires. Some prayed. Some visited neighbors. It was a normal, expected part of the rhythm of night, not in disruption of it. Your body still remembers this pattern, even if your culture doesn't. Ever wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason, fully alert, mind racing, and assume something is wrong with you? Nothing is wrong with you. That's the watch. Ekirch's research found this two-part sleep cycle referenced so casually and so often in historical writing that it clearly wasn't unusual. It was just how nights worked, before artificial light rewired everyone's expectations of what normal sleep should look like. So the fragmentation wasn't the strange part. The strange part is that we ever expected one long, uninterrupted block to begin with. But sleep is only half the story. Because before your ancestors slept at all, something else had to happen first. The fire had to be lit. Fire changed the shape of the human day more than almost any other invention. Once early humans controlled it, night stopped being a single, unbroken threat. It became a room, a boundary, a place with light on the inside and danger on the outside. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied the Zhu Huanzi Bushmen of the Kalahari and found something that surprised her. Daytime conversation among these groups was mostly practical. Complaints, logistics, gossip about resources, who did what. But firelight conversation was different, almost different genre. Around the fire at night, the talk shifted to stories, myths, songs, discussions of distant relatives, social bonds, the meaning behind events. Wiesner's research found that storytelling happened 7 times more often at night than during the day in these communities. Why would that be? Because daylight is for survival. Night, once fire made it safe enough, became for something else entirely: culture, connection, meaning-making. Think about that. The bedtime story you were told as a child isn't a modern invention for children. It's a direct descendant of something ancient humans were doing around fires for hundreds of thousands of years, passing down information, values, warnings, and identity through the dark. The fire wasn't just warmth and light. It was a stage, and the audience gathered there wasn't just resting. They were building the invisible architecture that held their groups together. Who could be trusted? What had happened to the people 3 valleys over? Which berries made you sick? Where the water was this season? All of it passed mouth to ear, in the dark, lit by flame. But it wasn't only talk. The night had its dangers too, and those dangers shaped behavior in ways still visible in you today. Predators hunt more successfully in darkness. Human night vision is poor compared to many animals that were hunting our ancestors. So groups had to manage the actual physical risk of night through vigilance, watches, and shared sleeping arrangements. This is likely part of why humans sleep in groups instinctively, and why total isolation at night still feels uncomfortable to so many people, even now, even in a locked house with an alarm system. Your nervous system evolved in a world where being alone in the dark carried real risk. That feeling didn't disappear just because the modern world made it statistically safer. Psychologist and sleep researcher Matthew Walker has written extensively about how deeply darkness and vulnerability are wired into human physiology. Melatonin production, the hormone that governs your sleep cycle, is directly triggered by the absence of light. Yo,